Have you ever felt so lost and broken that you wondered if you'd ever find your way out? Like life had knocked you so far down, you weren't sure if you'd ever stand again. What if I told you that in my darkest days, living in a shelter with my daughter, with no support and no guidance, I found a purpose so powerful that it had changed the trajectory of my entire life? Hey, beautiful souls, it's Chosen One, your coach's favorite coach, and welcome to my Empath point of view. To every single mom out there feeling like the weight of the world is on your shoulders, let me tell you something. You are stronger than you know. There were days when I thought I couldn't make it, when homelessness, heartbreak, and the pain of being rejected by the woman who gave me life felt like too much to bear. But you know what? The universe always has a plan, even in the darkest times. And for me, that plan included a mother in law who showed me more love, grace, and guidance than my own jealous, spiteful, and narcissistic birth mother ever did. She became my light when I felt buried in the dark, reminding me that family isn't always about blood, it's about love. She became the voice of reason when I needed it most, encouraging me to go into the shelter when my world felt like it was collapsing. Little did I know, that shelter would become the place where I discovered my purpose. She played a major role in my awakening and my path to enlightenment, showing me a kind of love and acceptance I had never known. She embraced me and her grandkids wholeheartedly and unconditionally, something my birth mom, bound by her own limitations, just couldn't bring herself to do. Her love was a beacon of light, guiding me to the healing and strength I didn't even know I had within me. My mom, influenced by her husband, allowed him to dictate what she should do with her kids, ultimately pushing me out right after I graduated high school at just 17 years old. It was as if he didn't want anyone there but himself and her, a trait I noticed in narcissistic households. Looking back, it's no surprise that no one in my family liked him. His energy, it never really aligned with love or unity. This is my story of how I found purpose in my lowest moments, and I hope it inspires you to keep fighting for your own breakthrough. Today, I want to take you back to a time in the Bronx, a small yet mighty city in New York where I was born and raised. It was 2011, and I was living in a shelter with my daughter, Divine. I named her Divine because I wanted her name to carry power and meaning, a reflection of the unique energy and light I hoped she'd embody. What I didn't realize at the time was how much divine guidance was about to show up in my life, starting with her. Life in the shelter wasn't easy for us. I was working a minimum wage job, making less than $8 an hour, and every day felt like an uphill battle for survival. There were some nights where I cried myself to sleep because I didn't know how I'd make it to the next day. No one prepared me for the isolation, the judgment, and the sheer exhaustion of trying to provide for my child while feeling so alone. My daughter's father had walked away when we needed him the most, and my birth mother, well, let's just say she was more of a source of pain than comfort. But even in the darkness, a spark of light appeared. I met Miguel, a man who would change my life in ways I could never have imagined. It happened so unexpectedly. He was a stranger on the street asking me for directions, wearing these dark, massive sunglasses that practically swallowed his face. I almost kept walking, but it was something deep inside of me. The voice I now recognize as intuition told me to stop. As I explained the directions, he began speaking rapidly about my life. He knew things no one else could have possibly known. Details about my family, my struggles, even my childhood. He even told me that my brother had just came home from a juvenile detention center. I was completely stunned. My first instinct was to pull my daughter closer because honestly, I was shooketh to my core. But as he spoke, something shifted. He had asked me if I believed in psychics, and naturally I hesitated. Growing up, I was taught that psychics were evil, that anything outside the church was dangerous. But Miguel wasn't asking me to believe in him. He was showing me something deeper, something within myself. He sparked the beginning of my journey to awakening and enlightenment, helping me to see that the power to heal and transform was already inside of me, just waiting to be uncovered and explored. He told me that we're all born with psychic abilities, but most of us never tap into them because we're conditioned to ignore or suppress them. I didn't believe him right away. How could I? That night, after I tucked my daughter into bed, I went on a Google binge. I swear, I researched everything he had said, and what I found out blew my mind. I stumbled across the word empath, and for the first time, my entire life finally made sense to me. the headaches I experienced, the stomach pains, the emotional exhaustion after being in crowded places, all of it was tied to my gift as an empath. It was in that moment that I realized that I wasn't just sensitive or overly emotional as I was told throughout my whole entire life, but I was actually absorbing the energy around me, and it was overwhelming me because I didn't know how to manage it. Learning about this was like discovering a missing piece of myself. It explained why I always felt drained after going to places like Walmart and Target and ended up with a headache, or why certain people's energy left me feeling sick, and why I had struggled so much in relationships. I realized that it wasn't just me, there was a reason for everything I had been experiencing my whole entire life. That realization lit a fire within me, and I just went with it because instinctively, somehow I just knew that it would lead me to uncover the truth. I started journaling and writing, diving deeper into my spiritual journey. I was led to create a Facebook community called the Empathic Universe, which grew to over 106,000 followers in less than 5 years. It was so incredible to connect with people who felt the same way that I did, people who were searching for answers, healing, and understanding, until it was taken away. I'll get into that in another video. But let me tell you something. None of this would have happened if I hadn't met Miguel. It was after meeting Miguel that I finally saw the light at the end of the tunnel. I didn't fully understand it at the time, but deep down, I knew that this encounter, this newfound enlightenment, was exactly what I needed. Miguel helped me realize that I could learn to be grounded, to heal, and to control the emotional overwhelm, anxiety, and depression that so many of us empaths struggle with their whole lives. Life becomes incredibly stressful when you don't have the right tools to navigate the constant waves of emotions and energies around you, but that moment marked the beginning of me learning how to rise above it all. And because of my due diligence, I learned to heal myself naturally from the inside out, a journey I've shared over the years in my Facebook group. It's also one of the reasons the name Chosen has a Z in it. It represents the shift to become Zen, like my dad, and a transformation I embraced over that time period. Through my goal of healing myself and committing fully to the process, I achieved what once felt impossible. I freed myself from debilitating migraines, chronic stomach issues, and the energy attachments to narcissists and external influences. These things no longer controlled me or thrived in my energy field because I raised my frequency levels. Looking back, I realized that meeting him was divine intervention. He helped me see that everything I need was already present in me, but I just needed a catalyst to unlock it. And that's the message I want to share with you today. You see, living in that shelter, I learned resilience. I learned to trust my own intuition, to lean into the great discomfort of growth, and to listen to the quiet voice inside me that had been drowned out for so long. And let's face it, I had a lot of quiet nights. It was in these times that my life would take shape right before my very eyes. And most importantly, I learned that my struggles weren't meant to break me, but they were meant to shape me into the healer that I was destined to be. If you're experiencing anything similar, know that you can overcome it too. My hope is to inspire you to take charge of your life, heal, and rise to the empowered version of yourself that you were always meant to be. No matter how lost, broken, or alone you feel, you have the power to heal yourself. You have the tools within you to rise above your circumstances and create a life filled with purpose and passion. If you're Today I stand here not just as an empath, but as a light worker. My purpose is to heal and inspire others, to show people like you that no matter where you are right now, that you too can rise out of any darkness that you may be in or gain clarity over any obstacle you have faced. So if you're in a dark place, know this. Your pain is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your transformation. Listen to your intuition. Trust that the universe has a plan for you. And remember, even in your darkest days, there's light. Sometimes it comes from a stranger, and sometimes it comes from within. But keep going, because your purpose is waiting for you. When you have the power to elevate on your journey to awakening and embrace your highest self. If my story resonated with you, and if you're seeking clarity on your spiritual awakening, inner journey, or your empathic gifts, know that you're not alone. This path can be overwhelming, but it's also transformative. If you seek deeper guidance and connection, then join my Patreon at Empath Unplugged. It's a safe space for guidance, community, and the support to grow and heal your inner turmoil and break toxic cycles. Together, we'll explore the depths of your awakening, empower your gifts, and create the life you deserve. If you've made it this far, comment purpose below in the comment section. And as always, I thank you for being here, and I thank you for listening to my empath point of view. And don't forget to check out my playlist and dive into some of my other transformational videos for more inspiration. Until next time, take care. Bye.